On Wednesday, I went to the theatre. That's all I do nowadays, apparently. I went to go and see a play called Lock Up Your Daughters. Yes, that does sound rather interesting. I went to see it because I know someone in it. I must admit, prior to it, when I was looking up the plot, I thought, okay, this is kind of different to like the Disney magic I'm used to. But hey ho, you got to expand yourself. And it's a musical. I like musicals. I always like to go out and do these things. I like to go to conventions, concerts, theatres. And one question I always get asked is like, how do you actually do that though? Like, you're autistic, surely you struggle with those kind of things. Yes, I do struggle. And there's a lot of preparation to go into it. So today I'm kind of going to open up my little box of secrets, that's a book of secrets, and I'll reveal to you what actually goes into travelling across the country and getting to a new place that I've never been to, and everything that goes into simply a theatre trip. As soon as I decided I was going, first thing I needed to decide, how am I going to get there? The obvious straightforward answer, train. And that's what I told myself. I was like, oh, I'll just get the train, get an open return ticket, and come and go as I please, sorted. And that's what I planned for. I'm used to going to St Pancras or King's Cross, depending on which train I get, and that's a place I'm comfortable with because I spend so much time there. So that one, nice and easy, check that off the list. But then I'm going somewhere I don't know. I'm going to a theatre called the Bridewell Theatre. It's in an area of London I've never been before. That means I'm going to have to get tubes I've never got before. My first port of call is to open up maps and simply type in King's Cross St Pancras to Blackfriars Station. Nice and simple. Blackfriars was the closest station. First thing it suggests to me is to get the Metropolitan line to Farringdon. At Farringdon, I would then have to switch onto an actual train to go to Blackfriars. That would be the quickest way. But that's an actual train. I don't know, can I use my Oyster on that? Because I use contactless. I just want to stick to what I know and go on normal tubes. So I cross off the option to let me go on a rail. The option it then suggests to me is to get the Northern line to Bank, walk over to Monument, and then get the District line. That seems nice and simple. However, it does involve switching a tube, which can be slightly stressful. So one option is to stay on the tube for 20 minutes and get the Circle line. Another option is to get 3 different tubes. And although that's the quickest time, just going to eliminate that one. So at the moment, yes, the Circle line would be ideal, but it is a bit longer and you can't get them as often, so I'll rule off that one. And I'll get the Northern line to Bank and then switch at Monument, that one. Option 1. Problem. Whenever I go to London, sometimes I go to NAS. At this point, I didn't know whether I'd be going to NAS, so I have to plan that into my journey too, so I might be going from Angel instead. Very luckily though, Angel's just one more stop along the Northern line, so simple. That option's there if I need it. I like to always look at all of my options to make sure that what I'm doing is the most efficient way. So most neurotypicals, you know, look up your tube journey because, yeah, you do. You'll see as I explain the level I actually have to go to plan these things out. A lot of neurotypicals would be like, oh yeah, we'll just get the tube there and we'll find it, it'll be around there. No, that is not good enough for me. I'll then look on the map for walking directions because I know it's very close, but I need to still know exactly. However, looking at it at bird's eye view, yes, I can like map that out in my brain, but still I like to just go a bit further than that. I'll look at it in 3D just so I can kind of visualize it a bit more, but that's only blocks, so then I'll put it on satellite so I can actually look at where I will, as if I'm flying through the city and being Superman. And from this I can follow the path and see where it is I'll be walking, although I can't quite see down that road, and that's a problem for me. I need to be able to see down there because I don't know what I'd do around there. I know that's the building, but still I don't know what to expect. So then I'll go on Google Street View and do my entire walk on Google Street View. Then I'm at the theatre, and you would think that would be all of the issues solved. Now when I was booking the tickets, I thought, oh, it's cool, I'll just book the tickets. I'll say, look, can I have some near the door? You know, I might want to skedaddle. And they said, no, the tickets are unreserved. That concept kind of confused me a bit. I like to know where I'm going, I like to know what I'm doing, to have unreserved and all that uncertainty, because I was like, well, will I have to queue in order to get blah, 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 blah. Brain could not cope with that. So I had no seating plan or anything, so of course I went and googled the theatre and saw that that was the seating plan, and I thought, right, okay, the ideal place would be to go on the front row near where the door is. Problem being with the front row though, A, it's scary because they give you eye contact and stuff, and B, I get nervous, and when I get nervous I start to fidget and I start to stim, and it can be very physical sometimes, like I'll be whacking my leg or I'll be shaking my leg or whatever, and I don't want to be on the front row doing that because I feel it would be distracting for the performers. Yes, fair enough, they're all at the end of drama school, so they need to get used to that kind of thing just in case it arises, but still I don't want to be that person. So if we take it back a step and go on to the second row, if I zoom in there you'll see, look, there's a barrier, I could slip through there if I need to get out, sorted. So my task was just all set on, I need to get those seats. But then I have to prepare myself for what if someone else sits in those seats? Someone might get in first. And that, I don't really know. I just thought, do you know what? Okay, the chances of me wanting to escape are so slim, I'm probably going to get in there and enjoy it. And if the chances are that slim, if you look at it from a mathematical point of view, I'm not going to want to escape. overall, it's probably not going to happen. Therefore, it doesn't really matter where I sit. And once I came to that logical conclusion, I was kind of fine with it. Another piece of planning I had to do, of course, it was a normal performance. I have to check out the sensory side of things. Are there going to be any flashes? Are there going to be any bangs that are going to freak me out? I'll explain a bit more about this in a later clip. You'll see why in a sec. So I've got all that sorted, I've got my ticket, and then we have an obstacle thrown in the way. Kind of ran out of money. Trains are expensive. Spent a lot recently on trains. So I thought, maybe I could get the coach. There was a video I made in September about my last experience with a coach, and you will know I wasn't fine with it. But I went on nationalexpress.com and saw there was a £2 coach plus £1, so £3 coach. Why the booking fees? And I thought, do you know what? I can't resist that. I wasn't going to get the coach back. I definitely wasn't going to, because that's where my stress was. It was when I was tired at the end of the day. I just wanted to get home. But I thought I could get the coach down. But that meant I was getting off at Golders Green. Luckily, Golders Green, it's on the Northern Line, but there's a quicker way to then get to Blackfriars. You can go on the other Northern Line. So that was really simple. Figured it out. Tube refixed. Because I was only booking a single train on the way back, it meant there was no flexibility. Can't have this whole, oh yeah, I might go at this time, might go at this time, because it's not an open return. You have to book your time, and that time is the time you go on the train. So I booked as late as possible, 8:30, that I knew the performance was going to finish around 5, so I thought 3.5 hours to get half an hour away, that should be fine. So my 3 challenges for the day were A, I've got to get the coach, B, I've got to get my seats, and C, I've got to get back to St Pancras for 8:30. What I didn't expect to happen was on Wednesday I'd go on my morning dog walk, and I had a meltdown on the park. Yeah, I won't go into that one too much, but that's how my day started. So I thought, oh my god, how am I going to get on this coach? Oh my god, should I just not go? Should I just not? But I pulled myself together. I got dropped off at the coach station, so I didn't have to get the bus into town. That eliminated one thing. And then I get on the coach, and all I can say, you get what you pay for. For some reason, if you pay less money, people tend to be more rowdy and smelly. Why does everyone smell? But do you know what? It was a couple of hours of my life, and if it gets me to London for £3, I can tolerate that. So that was challenge 1 done. Challenge 2, what seats did I go and sit in? I went and got in those seats. Although I was kind of stumped because they'd put 2 extra rows of seats, so I was like, what? And throughout the performance, I didn't really get agitated too much. The play started and they mentioned ancient Greece and muses. And if you know me by now, you will know that those terms just make my brain go Hercules. I started thinking about Hercules and I started watching Hercules in my head. And then it got 5 minutes into play and I thought, oh my god, I've not been paying attention. I have no clue what's going on. So that was fine. I picked back up on the plot. It was a bit of a dark theme, so it was quite emotionally weird. And then one thing that happened is one of the actors tripped on a light, which was right by me, and because it made a bit of a clang, what happens with me if there's something like that? It enters my brain kind of like a tornado, so it just repeats over and over again, and just kind of, so that was making me a bit agitated, and I just kept holding on to the bars, and I kind of shook the bars a bit, but I wasn't too bad, and I made it through the first hour, which was great. Then we got to the interval, got a bit of a calm down, and then the second half, I was fully engaged. It was really good. The play as a whole was brilliant. I wasn't expecting it to be as good as it was. I really enjoyed it. And now I'm going to show you a clip from what I filmed after the play with someone who was in the play. And now I'm standing here expecting you to be watching the clip. It's me who needs to insert that. Well done. Play the clip. Of course, if I'm going to see a show, I've got to get cast in. Lucky enough, you know, I know one of the cast this time.
Yeah, he does.
So one thing with this theatre trip is I had to find out about the lights and stuff. So luckily, obviously, knowing Pete, I could just go, Pete, what's in it? To which he did, and he warned me about a trapdoor, which still managed to scare me. Made me jump.
I think it's a jump for everyone. Yeah.
Of course. Right. So I've known him nearly 2 years.
I thought it was longer than that. Was it never longer than that?
I don't know.
A while.
But yeah, so it's really nice to like see it all come together for you and see you performing, and it makes me all like.
It's lovely to have you here. It's really nice of you to come.
And yes, and I'm sure you'll see him in future.
Productions,
that's
performance, stage things.
I'm just going to quickly mention there, Pete was wearing makeup. He wasn't looking like death. Well, he was looking like death, but that was character. And as we mentioned there, Pete looked at all the sensory stuff for me, which made everything so much easier because I knew what to expect, and the fact that it wasn't too much of an intense performance. One thing I did find, blue and purple lights tend to trigger me enough. I get affected by purple. How horrible is that? But they were a bit much for my eyes, so I just kind of squinted through them, but otherwise fine, sensory-wise. I do have to re-emphasise though how proud I was. He was great, he was great. Then challenge number 3, we get out of the theatre about 5:45 and we head back on the tube to St Pancras. Because I'm with some people, we're like, let's go to Nando's. I had hours to kill, so I was fine with this, and even when we'd finished Nando's, we still had like well over an hour. So we did my usual, let's skip round King's Cross, St Pancras on the Underground. You can go to my friend Cez's channel to watch it. Then I got on my train, got home, my granny picked me up, it was all good. To most people on the planet, they go, I want to go to the theatre, should we go? Yeah, sure. For me, that's what goes into it. That's how much planning I have to put into these things. I may appear like I'm quite a functioning person. There's a lot I have to check out with these things. And one thing I'd be really interested to hear about is how many of these things can you relate to? How much planning goes into doing a journey for yourself or going to the theatre? Like, most shows have just an accessibility line, but because this was a smaller production, there wasn't any of that. You may find this video useful because next week I will be showing you a theatre experience that you may want to go and see. You will want to go and see it. You'll find out about that on Tuesday, and that video coming next week was made with a big company that I love, a magical company. And speaking of making videos with companies, I also made a video with Childline, and that's up now, so I'm going to leave that on the end screen. Please go and have a watch of that. It's just an introduction to autism, but it's really well made. So I hope it's been interesting to you to open up my mind a bit, not physically, and see all of the processes about what actually goes on. Thank you very much for watching. Bye.